I start at like 7 in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not getting home till 6 p.m. Just with lifting, football, until about noon. And then, basketball starts at 1, get done about 3:30. And then, of course, since I'm kind of behind, skill level with just juggling both, I'm getting extra shots up and extra work after practice. So, yeah, just a drastic change in my schedule.
This is unusual. What brought you to just, hey, I'd like to give this a try? How did it come about? Did you approach Josh? He told us way back when that he sort of told you last spring, hey, come on over. But when did you take this serious?
So this is something that nobody knows except me and my mother. When I was young, I always, my mom made me write affirmations.
Mm-hmm.
And so one of my biggest affirmations was to be a two-sport athlete in college. And I started that in about 5th grade. So it's just crazy that it's now happening now. But this all came about with Coach Josh Eilert when he came to recruit my younger cousin, Jasper Johnson.
So he's your cousin. We were talking about that a little while ago.
Uh-huh, yeah.
I thought you were your relation.
Yes, he's my younger cousin. And we went to high school together my junior and senior year. And he had came down, watched the practice. He loved the way I competed. And, I met him, introduced myself. And we just kind of carried that relationship all the way until I got down here for football. And I just checked in every time that I came down. He invited me to a hoop session that they had in the summer. Competed in those, and I loved the energy, loved the vibe that I got from him. And he was like, after football, if you're still interested, you can come by. And so after football had ended, enjoyed the bowl game win for about a week. And then I cleared it with Coach Brown. That was fine with him. He gave me the A-OK. And, told Coach Eilert, it's a go. Let's do it.
What's it like being in high school, concentrating on football in a state that is religious for basketball? Yeah.
It's not crazy different at all. Like, I play football. Like, nobody's really looking at me. It's nothing like that. But I will say, it is tough being recruited from that state because a lot of guys are not heavy on it, if that makes sense.
Sure.
Because we are. I always say we're a basketball state.
Right.
Basketball is a really big thing down there. So I wouldn't say it's like anything bad or anything too much different.
But in high school football was
Yeah, that was
you were
kind of
more concerned with football. I mean,
in high school.
Yeah.
No. So that's another thing that nobody really knows.
Okay.
I didn't start playing football until 9th grade.
Okay.
So I've always been a basketball kid.
Okay. Well, that makes sense then.
Yeah, I've always been a basketball kid.
So at some point later in high school, then football became.
It did. So I'll give y'all the background on that. So 9th grade, I lived in Nashville, Tennessee from 2nd grade all the way to 10th grade.
Okay.
And I went to a private school named Father Ryan from my freshman to sophomore year. Freshman and sophomore year. And the football coach there, Coach Rector, he was like, man, you have to come out and play football. You're too athletic. And I was against it at first. I was like, no, coach, I came here to play basketball.
Right.
And that's been my dream. It's been my vision. But it was like, man, I'm telling you, like, you can definitely come out and play some football. And an AAU teammate that I had currently at the time, his dad had became the strength and conditioning coach, Coach Sharp. So he was like, man, you're a Power 5 football kid, just by your the way you move, how athletic you are. And that's where it kind of just changed. And that's when it got in the way of like me training for basketball, how I usually do. And football became sort of like the main priority, and that's how it's been ever since.
So what's football been like for you here? Obviously, your playing time is very limited, but workouts, everything, what you expected, harder, easier? What's football been like?
As far as lifting, it's definitely been harder, but it's something that I'm kind of not scared off from, if that makes sense. Oddly enough, the trainer that I do work with outside of like West Virginia, he actually got trained by Coach Mike Joseph when he was at Notre Dame. So those workouts are similar, but it's nothing that that I'm like, oh my goodness, like, I do not like this at all. It's definitely tough. Definitely pushes me and improve my body in a great way.
Were you in spring ball this past spring?
No, sir.
Oh, okay. All right.
No, sir. I was a summer enrollee.
Okay. All right. 'Cause there was a basketball player on the football team.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Trying to make the train. I was wondering if you
Uh-huh.
ever talked to him or, okay.
You're not as big as Jimmy Bell.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I've definitely heard that he was like a lineman. I think he was
Yeah.
going for lineman.
Yeah.
Yeah.